A first-time client has called and said, Iswat, can you bake my son a one-tier chocolate birthday cake? And I said, why not? Let's enter the kitchen. So here we're going to be baking the chocolate cake together. She has specifically requested for chocolate cake with chocolate icing, and that's what the son wants. So in that bowl, I've measured my flour for baking. I'll be baking a couple of 9-inch pan and two 10-inch pans. So I've measured the right measurement of flour. Now we're going to be using pure cocoa, and that's what I'm measuring in the cup. So I'll be adding all my dry ingredients together. So here I'm adding the cocoa to the flour. It's very important to sieve your cocoa. Trust me, you have loads of lumps in there. So what I'm trying to do is break the lumps with a spoon, but you still have loads of lumps. You see that? So we'll trash that because we don't want that getting lumpy in our cake. So I measure all the dry ingredients, mix together. So in there, I've got flour and now cocoa. I'm going to give that a good mix until everything is well combined and you have all the white part of the flour missing in the color of the cocoa, because of course that's cocoa is a stronger color than the white. So we need to have everything in that bowl turn brown to be sure we have a good mix. So I'll mix that. In that cup on the table, I have my buttermilk setting. You can buy buttermilk off the shelf and you can make one yourself. I chose to make one myself. So that's fresh milk with lemon juice. All right, so going on, we're going to add another dry ingredient to the already mixed flour and cocoa, and that's sugar. I'm measuring my sugar. So baking chocolate cake, because of the natural cocoa, if you know cocoa is has this bitter taste, so it requires a lot of sugar to get that sweetness. This is chocolate cake. It requires a lot of sugar, so the sugar is quite a lot. If you want the recipe for this chocolate cake, send me a message in the comment section and I'll email it. I'll DM directly to you. So I'll be mixing my sugar with the already combined flour and cocoa mixture. We'll mix that gently and we set aside. Like I was saying with the milk, you can buy your buttermilk off the shelf and you can choose to make one at home. Making buttermilk is simply your fresh milk with vinegar or lemon, whatever works for you. I'm used to lemon, so I use lemon. So I've put that milk down. I've put the lemon in it and I'll give it some time to set, and there we have the buttermilk for the cake. So I'm done mixing that. Now I'm going to get my wet ingredients together. In a mixing bowl, I'll break my fresh eggs at room temperature, and then I'll be adding all other liquid ingredients into the egg. But before I do that, I'll give the egg a slight whisk, just very slight whisk to break the yolk and the whites together. So while you're doing this, you want to make sure you've turned on your oven and your oven is set to the right temperature, 180 degree, which is what I use here. You can convert that to Fahrenheit to tell what the right temperature is in your location. All right, another wet ingredient that goes into that is hot coffee. Yes, you heard me right, hot coffee. So I'm going to be making a cup of coffee for the chocolate cake. The smell and the taste and the moist this adds to the cake is unbelievable. All right, so that's my cup of coffee ready. I'm gonna set that aside and prepare the other wet ingredient that'll be going into the mixture. Yes, we're going to use oil. We're not using, yeah, there's a recipe for butter, but for this recipe, I'm using vegetable oil. You can use whatever oil of your choice, tasteless oil, not flavored oil. So I'm using sunflower. You can use canola oil. You can use vegetable oil, whatever oil you have. Just make sure it's not tasteless oil. You're not using flavored oil for the cake. All right, so I've put the oil in the egg. I'm gonna whisk them together and add up other wet ingredients. Yes, we'll be using pure chocolates in this chocolate cake. That's what's gonna give it that heavenly melting texture in your mouth. So I've melted my chocolate with milk. You can melt it with water. You can just melt it in the microwave, whatever works for you. So I'm whisking the egg and the oil in the big bowl. Once that is combined together, I'm gonna add the coffee, the buttermilk, and yeah. So going in there first is the coffee. So in there we have the oil, the egg, the coffee, and my buttermilk is going in next. And we're gonna whisk till it's well combined together. Once that is well combined, then the dry ingredient can go in gradually. But before the dry ingredient goes in, I'm going to be mixing my baking powder and my baking soda in the dry ingredients. So once I have all that, it goes into the wet ingredient. Yes. And we give it a good stir. Gently. Yeah, I'm going to use a whisk because it gives me that nice and smooth mixture of combining them together. Pouring the melted chocolate into the mixture. Oh dear. That's it. I'll give that a quick scrape. And we have the sweetest and smoothest butter ready to go in the oven. Chocolate cake is very easy and straightforward to make, especially when you're doing the oil chocolate cake. The butter one is a bit different, but this is the simplest and sweetest chocolate cake. Look at that texture. Look at how glossy it looks. Look at how runny it looks. That's what gives it that succulent texture. And the melted chocolate gives it heavenly melting flavor in your mouth. Oh goodness me. You can put whatever flavor you want. In this recipe, I've used vanilla extract. That's my go-to flavor for chocolate cake. But whatever flavor works for you, that's okay. So once that is all set, it'll be going into the oven, into the already preheated oven. That's it. And I'll set my timer for 35 minutes. 35 minutes because that's a big pan. Yeah, and there we go. So quick. The 35 minutes went by so fast. Our yummy sumptuous chocolate cake is ready. We'll be icing it in a bit. Yeah, there we go. Spinning and ready to be iced. So I've got 210, but I'm going to be icing one because remember the customer requested for 1 tier chocolate cake for our son's birthday. So come with me. Let's give this a quick icing. I'm going to say to you, trust the process. So here we go. So we'll be icing with chocolate ganache icing. We've melted our chocolate ganache. If you want to know how to make chocolate ganache, go on my YouTube page, and one of the videos I've put you through the step by step on how to melt chocolate ganache. So here we're giving it the first coat, which is the crumb coating. The color is different, yes, like I said, trust the process. The end result is what we're really interested in. So I'll give it a quick scrape down and make sure that all parts are covered well. And once that is done, I'll put it in the fridge to set before we put our final melted dark chocolate to give it that color that the client's son has requested for. Now the cake is out of the fridge and it's well set. So I'll scrape it down quickly and then we cover with the chocolate. That's the result we've been waiting for. Take a close look at that. Beautiful. That's gorgeous looking, isn't it? And the taste, oh my goodness, is heavenly. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode of chocolate ganache, and that's for Mother's Day cake decoration. See you soon. Like, comment, and share. Thank you.